It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millers Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with my outdoor media analysts Joe Allen Dunn and Kevin Sims. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millers Ferry hunting and fishing report.
Team Bigfoot in the house.
We got to change that up. We got to get a new intro because Team Bigfoot is not in the house no more.
He's still in the house.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Another week has gone by. Another outdoor. A lot of stuff going on in outdoors. Me and Joe Allen are here. Kevin is not here. He had to go. I think it's orientation today at the, I call it Livingston University. What is it? University of West Alabama now.
Yep.
And Brody's getting started with his college career, and he had to be there today. But we got a good crowd on. How you doing, Tim Henderson, Noonan Hall, Al Smith up at Lock 5, Keith Knight, old Todd Prater. You going to cover the fruit jar up at Selma City Landing this afternoon, Todd, and old Bud, your number one fan, Bud Williamson.
Count on him.
Is tuned in. You can count on him. We got some special guests fixing to come on here in a minute. But before we get to them, I really want to thank David Harrell and these Southern Land Brokers for doing the podcast with me this week. I couldn't believe the story he told. How did a country boy from Lowndes County be the national champion barefoot skier in the 1990s? How did he get exposed to something like that? He tells us all about it on today's podcast. How you doing? Ed McCormick's tuned in. Mark Bolden's tuned in. Old buddy Tim Henderson's tuned in. And old Jared Hudson's tuned in with us today. Let's start out with some events. I don't know anything that's going on this weekend other than they do have that fruit jar out of Selma today. The Bridgeport City Landing fruit jar will be next Thursday. Summer Team Trail will be next Saturday. And Maddie's going to have a good turnout, I hope, for that. And but let's go back to this weekend, because I don't know if this weekend, on my calendar, I have got a Fishers of Men at Ellis's Landing and a Pride of the South at Bridgeport. but I think Pride of the South's going to be at Live Oak. So I think Fishers and Men needs to move to Bridgeport because that's a better place to release those fish.
Oh yeah, especially this time.
It ought to be off limits to have a tournament at Ellis's Landing from June to September. It really ought to be. But anyway, I tried to call the powerhouse today, and the recording was all messed up. But I think it's about like it was at midnight to 4 a.m., 3 units, then shutting them off to 2 o'clock. But give them a call because I just couldn't get it. 682-4896 to find out what the generating schedule is at Millers Ferry and Jones Bluff. And the temperatures in the river rose 1 degree last week.
Yeah.
On the river, it's 85 degrees. In the slough, it's 89 degrees.
Now they changed it back up. They running power around the clock now.
Have they?
Yeah.
You looking on your
On the app, and that's for what's the day? 6.
Well, the last recording it was on June the 6th. So there you go.
This is the 8th.
Yeah, so it's running around the clock. They sucking the water out of it. Well, they got a lot of rain up there in Birmingham last night. They flooded the streets last night. Did you see that?
When I come over the river at the bridge, it was on up there. You know, it wasn't high, but it was up good and it was going. And when I got to the house, it wasn't low or nothing, but it was, about normal.
I say Mr. Freddie's on here. He sent me a picture from 3,500 feet of the new Demopolis City landing up in that airplane. I appreciate that, Freddie. Shane Jones is tuned in. Shane Jones, Crappie Fishing. I got a few notes to talk. He went hog hunting this weekend. And then went fishing Sunday with Harvey Crawford. He's been down there to Carr, Alabama. So
he was back in the woods.
Back in the woods. He sure was. All right, so we got a big show coming up today. Got a lot to talk about, but let's bring in some special guests, Joe Allen. And I'm kind of worried because we are live, so I'm going to give a disclaimer right now. Anything these guys say about Joe Allen,
it's not true.
I don't know if it's not true, but I mean they got some stories to tell on you.
They'll stretch the truth.
Well, let's bring in my dear friend, Mr. Shannon Tucker, Mr. Robbie Huggins, and Captain Chad McManus. Can y'all hear me, boy?
Yes, sir. Sir, you got us.
Y'all squanch up now. We can't see you. Y'all need to squanch up a little bit. The first thing I want to do is throw this up here. And Joe Allen, how long did it take me to do this right here?
Just a few minutes.
That right there was Monday with Captain Chad McManus. You know what the first thing he said, Chad? Wonder when he's going to take me and you?
Yeah. I ain't got a call yet.
He said the gas is too high. He can't afford to go one time a year.
we can throw in a little money for gas.
I got $5.
Yeah. But that was tell us who that is, because I don't forgot who that is, Chad.
Oh, that's two kids are Tucker Caps and then Tyler Mankey and his dad. That's his dad with him on the right.
Uh-huh.
And then Ronnie Hall from Demopolis, Alabama.
Okay. Y'all had a good. How far out did you go?
We went the furthest. The closest was about 35 miles, and the furthest was about 45 miles.
Okay, well that was. I'm telling you what, that was good pictures right there. And I'll have to tell this story when he sent them to me this morning, Joe Allen. I put them on Facebook. I wasn't even thinking about what the day was. I said he caught them this morning. Well, heck, you can't fish except Friday through Monday. So Chad called me in a panic, and I had to change it for the game warden came and locked him up. But we got it corrected.
Yeah.
How is the fishing been down there this year, Chad? Is it, I hadn't really heard from anybody.
We struggled about the limit. A lot of people are catching some good fish, but the limit's been a little bit tougher to get right now. The seas have not been real good. The opening weekend, we went out, tried to go out last Sunday, and we started out, it was about 1.5, and within an hour it jumped to 4.5 foot seas. So we came on back in. But this past Monday and Tuesday, it was like 0.8, and it was it was flat. We had a good day.
Good. Hey, Robbie and Shannon, has he taken y'all out yet?
No, we in the same boat y'all are. He'll ask when all the holes are fished out and his boat needs cleaning.
Well, y'all are deep in the woods of Clark County, Alabama. Shannon, I want to know how you got off of work so early, because it's just 10 minutes after 5. You're supposed to be open at 5 o'clock at Tucker.
I just told them all Big Daddy called, so I had to go. So we left. I left all the guys running it, so it's in good hands.
Joe Allen, you got any questions you want to ask them? Because those three, it looks like it's a cooking or something fitting to happen.
Oh yeah. We caught the fish yesterday, and me and Shannon. Well, Shannon caught most of them. I didn't catch two. But he had a good mess of brim and bass there. I had some squash in the refrigerator for him to get, and he ran off, left that. Mm. So I don't know what they're gonna have with it. I reckon
that squash. But me and Joe had a good evening yesterday evening. We caught a few real quick.
Y'all were fishing in the pond. What were you using for bait?
Beetle spins. Just beetle spins.
Were you catching any brim or just bass?
Mostly brim, but just for those beetle spins, that's you about can't throw it out there without a brim getting it before a bass gets it,
Yeah.
But
it's that time of the year. The ponds are wide open. I've been getting a bunch of pictures from Bibb County Lake, Monroe County Lake. I don't know what happened to my man, Mercy Man, up at the Dallas County Lake. I ain't been getting many pictures from him.
Well, I was using Reuben Floyd habaneros, what I was throwing, and them brim that he's got in that pond about like that. Mm-hmm. They ain't no babies now.
Well, that's the way they are now. I tell you, and you need to catch them out. You need to catch as many of them brim out as you can. What I've always been told is that what you try to do, Shannon, in your pond to catch them all.
Yeah, yes, we try not to throw anything back. They want us to keep them all and all the brim.
We do whatever Robert Hill tells us to do.
That'd be a good. How is Mr. Robert doing? I was up in Lowndes County. Matter of fact, that's where he started his game warden career. And old David Harrell did the podcast with me today, and he was asking me about Mr. Robert. How's he doing?
He's good. He's grumpy as ever,
We need to do another podcast like we did at Joe Allen's house that time.
Yeah, he come out yesterday and caught, I think he had wrote down like 58 brim yesterday. He loves brim fishing.
He's babysitting Todd Morris. They like peas and carrots.
Oh, no. Well, Todd, he's been radioing pretty good here lately. I don't know. I ain't seen no fish or nothing like that, but he's been radioing like he's catching some fish.
He heads up the advisory board out here.
Well, that's a good advisory board. I tell you, I done said it. I had the best. I'm 70 years old, and the best frog legs I ever ate was Shannon. When you going back to Louisiana and get us some more of them frog legs?
We're going to go probably sometime toward the end of July, 1st of August. So it's coming up in
y'all go every year, don't you, and do crawfish and fishing and all kind of stuff?
Yeah, we do a little annual trip every year with them guys down in Lafitte.
Well, y'all bring them back here now to eat them, because I tell you what, those were some of the best. Those were the best frog legs I've ever put in my mouth.
I'm supposed to go on the trip this year.
Joe Allen, you might be a little excess baggage on a trip like that. I want to see you laying on the front of that boat grabbing a frog.
I will. I'll hang out the edge right by my toes if I have to.
Who's gonna hold on to him?
Todd.
Todd.
I might get wet.
We have to be careful how we talk about Joe Allen because his #1 fan is listening in. Old Bud, he don't like for us to talk bad about Joe Allen. Well, boys, what else is going on? Tell me something going on in the outdoors. How was your turkey season, Shannon? I heard you had a good turkey season.
Yeah, I did. I got to kill the limit, and I saw, took some more people and saw a few more dice. It was a good season.
Have you seen any little turkeys? Are you seeing any little turkeys? Does it look like it was a good hatch?
No, I haven't. But now there's a couple people. Dylan Averett right down the road there. He said he had 11 in his backyard, 11 little ones. Up there with the hens. So heard a few people seeing them. So I think it's going to be a good hatch year, and next year looks real good.
Well, Tommy, my brother, he looks for them all the time, and he hadn't seen any till today. And he said he saw some today that were big enough to fly. So what that tells me is them turkeys are smarter than he is. They know when he's in the woods, and they hiding from him.
Well, it's good to know that they're that big already, because I think that's what they was trying to prove, that that the turkeys were not nesting. It was a longer incubation period, with the season coming in so early. So it sounds like that if they're already that big, it sounds like to me they were right.
Well, everything that I have heard is been positive about moving the season up. It was a lot of grumbling and fussing about it, but everything I have heard so far has been positive.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a good move. It had come in the first day of spring all my life until a few years ago. They started bringing it in early, and it always worked back in. So I think it's the right thing.
Hey, y'all, this Tuesday morning at 8:00, the Alligator Tag season opened up. You can register for your Alligator Tag in the zones. We're still looking for them to have a zone. I think they need to have a zone from the Coffeyville Locking Dam to Highway 10. What would that be? Choctaw, Clark, and Washington County? Is that what it would encounter?
Marengo. A little bit of Marengo, yeah.
But did any of y'all getting into this alligator hunting?
Hadn't this year. We did a few years ago, but I wish they would do it on the Tom Beaver.
I used to have a place over there. It's definitely enough alligators over there. They need to go ahead and start trying to manage it over there.
I have never been on that Tom Bigby River from the Coffeyville Locking Dam to Highway 10 like I'm talking about, but I know too many people that have been there that say the next world record alligator, that if they ever open it up for a zone, that's where he's coming from.
Yeah, I believe that.
There's some big ones.
They there. We see them all the time.
Turkey Creek had big ones, looked like dinosaurs, 30 and 40 years ago when I was up in there fishing all the time. Some of them would literally scare you coming by them in a 14-foot aluminum boat.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it again, and I keep up with it every year in the West Central Alabama zone, and it's always, and these preference point that they started back in 2014, where you're supposed to get preference points every year. And if that was put together and started for people not to get a tag every year, it ain't working. I can tell you, at least it ain't working in this zone, because there's still people getting tags that get them every year.
Yeah, I've got close to 300 preference points. And
have you ever gotten a tag, Chad?
I did. I guess it's been, I'd have to back calculate it, but it's probably been about 7 years ago. And
well, some of the biggest alligators killed in the West Central Alabama zone came from Clark County killers. It was Adam Anderson, G&D Outdoors, him and his wife both got a good one. And who was that girl that got that big gator? I took a picture of her laying on the back of the gator. It's been a lot of Clark County people got some good ones down there.
Yep.
Well, are you going to register for a tag, Shannon?
No, I'm not. I'm probably not.
How about you, Rob?
Right now.
I can't stay awake long enough to alligator hunt.
I can't either. I'm going to register. Are you going to register, Chad?
Yes, sir. I registered this morning.
Okay. All right. Good deal. And Todd Prater said he did a story about the alligator hunt that will be in the Progressive area and the Selma Sun and the Maritime Standard this week. So Todd Prater's on the ball with this alligator hunt. All right, boys. Anything else? Well, I sure appreciate y'all coming in, and the internet seems to be working good, Shannon. And I appreciate y'all.
Right. Well, we enjoyed you having us. Appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all sitting in for Kevin today, because Kevin couldn't be here today.
We have big shoes to fill.
Took 3 of us to do it.
That's what we needed, all 3 of you.
Talking at one time.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon, before I let you go, Tucker ATV, have you got any inventory? You got some coming in, or what's the deal if somebody's in the market for Polaris Ranger or one of them Hustler lawnmowers?
Yeah, just same old thing. Best thing to do is just come in, let's sit down and figure out what they want, and have to just do that pre-sale order. We get 1 or 2 every now and then to trickle in, and it's not sold when they get there. And it's not going to get any better in the near future. So right now, if you think you want one for dove season and deer season, you need to go ahead and get it coming. So
yeah, get it
remember
on.
that. Yeah, that's right.
All right, now let me ask you this. What about the Hustler zero-turn lawnmowers? I talked to Fleetwood Hollinger the other day and Ivy Griffin, and they were singing the praises about them Hustler zero-turns now.
Yeah, so they're good mowers. They really, really are. And but bad thing is I can't hardly get those either. They're tough to get. I get 2 or 3 a week, and people are putting their names on them before they get there. So, if you need one and you want one, you probably need to give me a call and let me write your name down and call you when it comes in.
All right, what about, let me tell you, the 2 best purchases I've made in 2022 was my Echo blower and my Echo weed eater run on them batteries. Have you got those hard to get, or you got plenty of them?
Right now we got a few, and they are, man, them things really work good. I was surprised how good they do. And but yeah, we got a few of those right now. Yeah, they may end up getting hard to get, but right now we got them.
Well, I can remember, and it's probably been 5 years ago, Shannon, when I tried to buy one from you and you wouldn't sell it to me because you told me it wasn't worth nothing. And now they have really improved it. Everything's improved now with this battery, with this electric stuff.
Yeah, they changed it. It was a 32 volt back then, and they just hadn't got them where they needed to be. But now they 54 volt and a lot of improvements, and it works well. Works real good.
Yeah. Well, I sure like mine. I was impressed with the power it has and how long the battery lasts. It's really those Echoes. I'm telling you, that's a good piece of power equipment.
It is. The batteries. I really don't know the answer to that one because we've been selling them about 3 years, and probably hadn't replaced 2 batteries for people. I would guess they're going to last at least 4, maybe 5, even 6 years.
Hey, what Mark Bolden wants to know, do you have a battery-powered Echo chainsaw?
Yeah, we do.
All right, there you go.
They work well, too.
All right, guys, we're going to let you go. I wish I was over there because I know y'all finna cook something good.
And we're fixing to heat some grease up. So we enjoyed it, and we appreciate you having us on.
Is it anything, Shannon, you want to say about Joe Allen before I let you go?
Remember now.
Well, Well, we might not can say it on air.
We've got to not
No,
say
it's-
it on there. We got to get
It's
Todd on there. I want to get it on tape anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Todd might have a few things, but no, we all good. Joe took us fishing and we had a good time, and fish didn't bite too good that day, but that's why I call it fishing.
All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for coming on. Captain Chad, thank you for sending me them pictures. Robbie, you keep them straight, and thank y'all for all your support for the Getting Outdoors show.
Right, we appreciate all you do for us too, Big Daddy.
Thank you,
a
Big
lot.
Daddy.
Thank you.
See y'all. That's a threesome right there, ain't it, Joel?
Yeah.
I was glad to get them on. We had a little audio glitch, but it turned out pretty good. Raymond Bond wants to know, can someone out of state apply for a gator hunt in Alabama? The only way you can do that, Raymond, if you bought a lifetime Alabama license and moved out of town and you still got that lifetime license, you can apply. But if you are not a resident of Alabama and don't have a lifetime Alabama license, you cannot apply. Now, you can go with somebody, an Alabama resident that gets a tag, but you cannot apply, nor can you get an alligator tag. So I hope that answers your question. All right, let's go over a little business. We better get to the hunting and fishing report. I had some notes. Let me see. We'll go over that a little. I did want to mention one thing, Joe Allen, before we get to the hunting and fishing report. Kay Donaldson put a post up on the Alabama Bass Trail Facebook page today where she was going over the numbers for 2022 on all the host cities that host an Alabama Bass Trail tournament.
Right.
And Wilcox County was up 30% in lodging, gas, fuel, everything like that. Now, somebody put a thing up that said the prices are up 30%, and I'm sure that's right. But still, I think that 30% reflect. I know at Bridgeport City Landing, when me and Mr. Jimmy robbed a box every 10, 12 days, it has been a significant increase of at least people paying. I'm not saying it's more people coming, but more people are paying. And I think everything in the outdoors is in Hunter Hines at the Rack and Reel says the same thing. Every time I go in the QV, he talks about all the boats and all the people coming in. So I think that it is up a lot.
No, it definitely is. I mean, the impact fishing has on us here is increased greatly.
Ain't no doubt about it. All right, let's get into the hunting and fishing report. Let's start off with the catfish. Robbie Schofield won that Alabama Catfish Series tournament down on the Tensaw. Did you see that, Joe Allen? He had 3 fish, weighed 93.5 pounds, and he had a 75.9 pound blue cap.
Good night.
That was and I ain't heard from Big Mama Bryant Taylor. He fished in it, but I ain't heard from it. I talked to Travis Powell, I believe it was Sunday afternoon, and he had thrown some jugs out below the dam, and he said he caught a good mess of fish, but he was using mullet for bait. And he said those little fish like that mullet, he did have one that weighed 22 pounds. So if you're coming catfishing this weekend, what we need to do, Joel?
The long lines have come into play. The main thing is look at that water, see what it's generating. Like if you'd have been out there today and they pulling it all day long, ain't no telling what you'd have caught out there. But if they cut it off early, usually everything stops. So it just depends on the water this time of year.
I am hearing bait. I'm hearing a lot of crying about folks not being able to get no bait.
Yeah, that is a real big issue right now everywhere. Tom Bigby guys saying they can't find no shad. I'm fixed to have pogies there at the store, so I'm gonna have froze pogies, and that'll help fill the void right there.
Yeah.
They work good because it's just a saltwater looking shad. Now, on the other side of that, if you know where to go in the river, you probably gonna have to get deep, or you're gonna have to find somebody like me and Kevin wouldn't have no problem getting no bait. That's because with a live scope,
he's the best net man in
if you got to take a live scope and you put them on them, and like I said, throw, and you'll get your bait. But right now, they're not in the places that people would normally find them. They're moved out. It's going to get hot. So I tell you what I do this time of year too. When you can't find it, go to a slough that has some current coming through it and some deep water with it. The one I'm thinking about in particular that always has it is hog pen. Then you get inside there and go to looking for them fish flicker. Get in behind them with your trolling motor. Stay real close. And when you see one flick, take your best guess which way they're going and throw it. And you'll pick up 10 or 12 every time you do that.
And I tell you what Stacy, he got him a bucket of crickets in his boat, and he'll go pull over there to the side. I find him a willow tree, a tree that's got willow flies in it, and he'll catch him a dozen brim, bam, 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 put them out there.
Work good too. So just remember on your brim, you can't exceed your
50
limit.
Yeah, and you got to catch them with a hook. You can't catch them with a dip net. But anyway, catfishing is good. I'm telling you, Josh told me at the state parks and folks running trot lines and catching the devil out of them. So it is catfishing is good on Lake Millers Ferry. I don't know what all that rain we had up in Birmingham is going to do to the water this weekend. Everything I'm looking at say it ain't going to hurt it much, but you can't never tell.
Probably won't go up real high, but what we'll have is what we're seeing right there. You usually have current moving the whole time, which that's going to be great. That's what we want.
All right, crappie fishing. Old Shane slipped up here and went hog hunting Sunday night with old Harvey Crawford and Coy. And then they went crappie fishing. And I was fishing Sunday and saw them come up in G's Bend. I should have known. I heard that voice, but I didn't know I figured he'd call me before he come. But they had a good day. They caught some good fish.
We're going to have to put one of them trackers on Shane so we can keep up with it.
I caught one weighed 1.82 pounds in my big fish hole that would have been the first hole I went to if I had been fishing in the Roland Cooper State Park. So I might have done some pretty good. Now you and Donna
conditions two totally different conditions though.
Donna was off last week, and you and her had a pretty good week.
We caught a lot of fish.
Now tell everybody how y'all caught
them. Live scope, done it all. We was fishing in the sloughs, hunting brush piles, and went in a couple of different. Went in the Cotton House slough. I usually don't go in there. Hadn't been there in a long time, and we found two groups of fish in there under some brush piles, and it done real good. And hit a few more brush piles, come back upriver, and then we went way on the river to up to Chilachi. And we didn't do nothing in Chilachi because they ain't hiding stuff in no more like you used to.
It's all right now.
Yeah. And went back Pine Barren, caught some on that hole I showed you in Pine Barren. Found a lot of fish up in Pine Barren.
Well, I tell you what I did. I went up in G's Bend and caught a few, and then I went up in the Liddell Slough in that standing timber and caught a few. But now my main big fish was on that riverbank. I love that 18, 20 foot of water, and I have never fished it with a jig. But I caught that 182 on a Millers Ferry Blue B&B weedless jig, and then I caught several. I would take those Reuben floors and put me a split shot about 6 inches above it, and you can see it good on that live scope. They wasn't pulling no water.
Yeah.
But if you come in crappie fishing this weekend, what you need to do?
Just like we just said, check out those brush piles in 8 and 10 foot of water in some of your dead water sloughs, and check out your creek mouths and points coming out in the river where the water's coming out of the sloughs in those places, and hunt fish in that structure on the edge of the riverbank. Just depending on how much current we do have coming, I think it's still going to be all right.
Yeah.
It makes it better sometimes and it just the ones out in the river would be a little bit hard to get that jig down there without too much current. It's the only thing I'm thinking about. But
and y'all saw what I put up a while ago. Pip Allen said he picked up some good looking jigs at Don's yesterday, and Joe Allen just needs to show him how to catch them. Let me tell you something, Pip. I am a perfect example. Them jigs Joe Allen got.
Yeah.
Joe Allen Dunn, I can tell you what his signature is at Dunn Sport. He don't put nothing on that shelf that he ain't used himself.
Oh yeah,
so I guarantee you, if you buy one of them hair jigs, why you think he's got B&B Wheelers and Reuben Floyd? You never heard of them around here. So Joe Allen started. Shane turned us on to him, but you got probably the best supply of crappie jigs that I've ever seen.
And we done got Donna converted.
Yeah.
She done throw down the minute she likes those jigs. She likes feeling that thump.
Yeah, I do too.
And we went Sunday and she was on one caught. One.
Jarrett said him and his cousin gonna get in the jugging contest. We're gonna start promoting that jugging contest. We already got one entry in it for July the 23rd. We're really looking forward to it, but it's a little early to really start talking about it. All right, we got a lot to talk about bass fishing. Last Thursday evening at the Bridgeport City Landing Fruit Jaw, Kevin sat right here last week and told us how he was going to win that thing. Yep. And him and Tristan Team Sims had 3 fish, 10.94 with a 5.41 big fish, and took the money. Robert Anderson was second with a 9.43, and Trey Wade was close third with 9 pounds. That's 3 fish now. And Trey Wade fished in a Monroe County Bass Anglers Club tournament Saturday out of Selma City Marina and won it with 19.06. He had a 5.60 big fish, and they having a tournament today in Selma. And I hope Todd's going to cover the weigh-in this afternoon. All right, here we go. Todd wants to do a story about the jugging contest. The best way to do it is to go out with somebody jugging. Todd, we're gonna take Todd Pray to jugging. Yeah. Joe Allen. We just got to get it done.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that, Todd. You just get your life jacket ready, because we're taking you out in that boat. All right. So bass fishing. I sat by Tommy Bridges right there, what we call the community hole, right there where you go into the gold mine, and the water was off, and he was throwing a Texas rig, and he caught about a 3-pound. How many bass have been caught right there on that point?
Oh, ain't no telling.
But if you're coming bass fishing this weekend, what you going to, depends on water, pulling that water again?
Well, if they're doing like they're doing right now, the river bottom ought to be real good for your spots and your largemouth in those places like that. You cut, crankbaits, throwing out deep with a spinnerbait, slow rolling it up. That's going to work. Any kind of plastics, Carolina rigs, any Texas rig worm, big worms. The key though is that stuff is good all day long, anytime though, but you want that one, big fish, and you got to hunt him in some grass somewhere. It may be in a big clump of grass or on the riverbank or a green tree, or go back in those sloughs. They still big fish in there too. And I still say the guys that using live scope hunting those crappie top structure.
The bass fishermen need to keep bass
on them, because they love eating them small white perch.
That is our tip of the week. If you guys are bass fishing, I know. Hey, I see a lot of green trees on the bank too now. Them green trees are a good thing. But if you want to just kind of step outside the box a little bit, throw you a swim bait or something down in one of them crappie tops.
I'll tell you something else that I think is starting to happen now. They all wait till later, but A-rig season, is in the fall. Mm-hmm. But I think Jamie's got some of those smaller diamond bait A-rigs, because you're seeing a lot of little minnows around the stumps and stuff now. I mean, millions.
Millions.
The fries everywhere. So a small A-rig coming through there with a a small swim
with a
bait on
small swim bait.
it, and you bring it up through there, something gotta hit it.
I saw all them little minnows too. I can always call them river minnows, but they some kind of fry.
Yeah, a lot of it could be white perch, bass. Ain't no telling what it is.
All right, so if you're coming bass fishing, we done gave you enough tips to win a tournament this weekend. All right, the pond fishing, we talked about that a minute ago. It's wide open. I tell you, all the Alabama public lakes, brim, bass, catfish. You know, you can catch a striper up at Big Bibb County Lake now. They have stocked some striped bass. I hadn't seen any caught, or at least I tried to keep up with it, but I know they got them in that lake now. We talked to Captain McManus about the snapper. It's wide open Fridays, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and it's been down a little bit. I think it's not because of snapper out there, because of the weather and the water conditions.
Yeah, so, I looked at that. Even this weekend, it's going to be real good.
Gator Tag registration goes through July the 13th at 7 o'clock. They'll draw the tags then. You can register for a tag in each zone. And, of course, with me and Todd Prater, we'll be keeping up with the West Central Zone this year, just like we always do. I do want to shout out to my old buddy Troy Ruiz. He was inducted to the Outdoor Mississippi Hall of Fame last week, and he darn sure deserved it too. Old Troy is a true outdoorsman and a dear friend of the Gettin Outdoors show. All right, Joel, that's all I got. Anything else?
That's it.
We'll get a full rodeo report from Kevin next week. I know Brody won some kind of award this weekend, but I ain't even going to start to say what it is because I don't know. But he'll have a rodeo report. There he is. What did Brody win, Kevin, this weekend? You sent me some pictures and all, and he was getting some kind of award, but I don't forgot what it was. It was the Alabama State High School rodeo meeting they had this weekend. But we miss you, brother.
Need to mention I got a big load of B&B jigs in, early this week.
Reserve champion. That's what Brody got this weekend. Yeah, I saw those, man. You got several dozen of them. Did you?
Yeah.
And you got some of them little bitty ones you say you shoot them docks with.
Shooting dock jigs.
Does it matter what color when you're shooting docks, Joanne? I got to learn how to do that.
I imagine it does. I know it does, but it's usually that time of year it's going to be, your blues and silvers because the water's done cleared up.
Mm-hmm.
Water's low when that's the best. Shane's the one to ask on all that.
Yeah, we got to get him back on here.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, we miss you too, but buddy, you got replaced. It took 3 people to replace you today. Shannon, Robbie, and Captain Chad McManus set in for you early on the show today. What's up, Jason? Domains done tuned in. You are running late, but you can go back and watch it on YouTube or Facebook. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Anything else, Joanne? You got to go meet.
Yeah, I got some riprap work to do at the house.
Yep. Well, I hope that putting that riprap at the Dunn's camp is just getting started on mine and Alden and Travis's boathouse.
Yeah,
that's what I hope. And mine and Donna's pier to fish off of.
I've been studying on it, and I believe I'm gonna go with a floating dock. That's the only way to do it.
Well, it really is the way that water fluctuates.
Well, for me to be able to get in and out of the boat,
yeah,
I gotta have a floating dock.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you tuning in as always. It is hot summertime. Be careful if you are going out on the water or camping this weekend, and don't forget to register for the Alligator Tag. Look at that, Laura AG's have come in late. Thank you for tuning in, Laura. You'll be back in Camden in July, yeah, but you won't be at the. You say you got to go to the ICAST show and can't be at the jugging contest, and we will miss you, but I know you're doing good. And thank you for keeping up with the Bridgeport City Landing Facebook page like you do. All right, everybody, we gone. Thank you, Joe Allen. You are me and you had a full show today, so I appreciate you coming in. Let me get this ready to go. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, And we'll see you next week, same time, same place on the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report. See y'all.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to carry things that I might need to get a feeling me. How to walk and how to crawl, how to slide, how to sneak, how to stalk and find and do it all.